All right, we've got our guest, John Tantillo, on the line. He's a marketing and branding expert known as the Marketing Doctor, author of People Buy Brands, Not Companies. John Tantillo, welcome to the show again. Repeat visit. How are you, man?
Oh, Wayne, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited about talking to you tonight. I have some interesting perceptions of what went on last night.
All right, so you've got a column at Newsmax.com. It's called Generic Ballot Doesn't Matter for Midterms. It's the marketing. Tell us what this is all about.
Well, basically, despite what the Democrats would like to tell you, it's not about ideology, it's about satisfying needs. And the Republicans are doing that, and the Democrats are kind of like hoping that the electorate responds to what they're saying. But the more they talk, the more they alienate the man and woman on the street. And that's what they're targeting their base, but they're not targeting the general electorate.
Right. Well, I mean, that's you and I think alike. That's why I like having you on the show. Fellow New Yorker, common sense, business oriented, right? I've been saying the entire day that it's all about Alexandria Cortez. Nobody believes in the nonsense she's spewing. There's no such thing as free lunch. She's giving away free everything, and it's going to come from you and me. There won't be anything free. I think she's burying the Democrats the more she talks. So, I want her to keep talking.
Yeah,
I want her to keep talking.
I
right?
Agree more. Yeah, and I'm about to write another column, and it has to do with this the blue wave in the midterms. I don't think it's likely at all, and it's more like wishful thinking on the part of the Democrats. And if you take a look at what happened, I have to take a look at the people, the percentage of Democrats that came out to vote and the percentage of Republicans. I think the percentage of Democrats was significantly larger than that of the Republicans. If that's the case, the Democrats still lost. I mean, they can explain it any way they want. It's more wishful thinking than it is an actual phenomena that they're, and being
let me tell you. Wait, let me explain.
Isn't a strategy. Go ahead.
With that special election in Ohio, where we won, but it was razor thin, but we did win. And I saw the numbers. The numbers were that Democrats brought out, I think, 87% of the people who voted for Hillary came out to vote for the Democratic candidate, but only 46% of the people who voted for Trump came out for Balderston, and yet he still won. So they're saying, hey, we did okay, but that proves they did terrible.
No, I look at it differently. I think what happened, it's a special election. Special elections have different dynamics going on. And so in the general election, if you get that what I would call red wave that no one is talking about, because nobody wants to really talk about that because it's not in vogue, you're going to have many more Republicans coming out in the fall than you do now. And in that situation, I think that this is a good indicator. I'm looking at this from a counterintuitive perspective, where everybody's saying, "Oh, no." And the other thing, Wayne, that we have to look at is I don't think that this election cycle is like any other, which means that I think it's more like 1934 when Roosevelt held on to the Senate and the House after he was first elected, in 2002 when Bush held on after the 9/11 attack. So one could argue that these two that where we are today is similar to those two periods in our history.
Yeah, it sounded like you thought I was disagreeing with you. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that if they brought out 87% of Hillary's voters, and we brought out only 46% of Trump's voters, and we still won, they're dead in November.
Yeah. And nobody's talking about this except you and me. I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it. But anyway,
well, look,
we're only one man.
When you run candidates, and again, I don't want to sound racist. I don't mean this in a racist way. But when the Democrats run a candidate for governor, and his name is Abdul ElSyed, I just don't think that's appealing to the average middle class, working class person in this country. They don't want Abdul ElSyed. That's not a good way. Here's a guy that speaks in front of organizations that believe in Sharia law. He speaks in front of Muslim Brotherhood linked organizations. He speaks in front of Nation of Islam organizations. Now, he didn't win his primary. Thank goodness he did not win. He lost by 20 points. But he was endorsed by Alexandria Cortez. But that's the quality of Democrat candidates. They're out of the mainstream of what an average person on the street thinks, right?
But not only that, Wayne, they're not really connecting. And that's the beauty of Donald Trump. He connects. He might not be necessarily a great communicator with his sometimes word salads, but he connects. People on the street like what he says, and the people in the media, not so much.
So you're Mr. Difference. Marketing. What's your advice for Trump and the Republicans for November? What do you think are the key issues in the way they should market them? We're talking to John Tantillo. He's a branding expert. He's known as the marketing doctor. He's the author of People Buy Brands, Not Companies. What should the branding direction be for the GOP to win this thing big in November?
The economy, and it's about each person's personal needs. It's all about that. It's not ideological. It's not. It's really gets down to bread and butter basics. That I don't think the Democrats really have a central message, and that's where they're going to get into trouble.
Yeah, the only place I disagree with you, I would agree it's the economy, stupid, as James Carville said, except it's the economy, plus throw in build the wall and secure the border. I would say those two to me are equal. Those two are equal to me, Because one has to do with the other, by the way,
But I see where I'm going with this is that if you want to get the independents, that's more, and I hope I am not offending any of our listeners, that's more of a Republican base issue when it comes to the wall. And I think and maybe I'm wrong, I don't really know all of the data around that. It would appear to me that if you want to get independents, really what you want to do is not what have you done for me, what have you done for me lately. And by the way, what you've done for me is you've cut my taxes. And who really cares about the deficit except the base? But for the independents, they never cared about that in the past, and why are they going to care about that now?
All right, so I hate to do a little free advertising for Democrats, but I want to use you to do double duty here on the Democratic side.
Sure.
So, John Tantillo, what should Democrats be doing when the economy's going well, going gangbusters, booming, stock market booming, real estate booming, jobs booming, small business booming, everything going good in the economy? What do the Democrats say? What is there to attack? Tell me what you would do if you were the marketing guru and genius working for the Democratic Party. How would they beat Trump?
Well, it's all, in The Godfather there was a scene, and in the scene, Michael is reminiscing about why he wasn't whacked, and he remembers what his father said, and his father said, Michael, what you have to do is you have to think like your enemies, because when you think like your enemies, you can do anything. I think the Democrats, instead of thinking like graduate students and college professors, have to think like the man and woman on the street. So I think what they got to talk about is they have to talk about health care. They have to talk about finding solutions to their problems. They should be talking about wages, but what they shouldn't be doing is talking about these ideological things that really they don't care about.
Yeah, so like abolishing ICE.
Silliness.
Abolishing ICE. Yes. That is the dumbest issue I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Will they ever learn?
John's the marketing branding guru. Yes.
By the way, you can follow me on Twitter at Marketing Doctor. Would love to have you as a follower.
I'm going to follow you right now, so everyone else should follow me who's following you. At Marketing Doctor. John Tantillo, the doctor of marketing. Thanks, Doc.
Okay, Wayne, thanks for having me. See you soon.
All right. The author of People by Brands, Not Companies. People by Brands, Not Companies, my buddy John Tantillo. Met him in New York. He's a great character and a great guy. We'll be right back. Wayne Allyn, War Now.